I remember when I was still playing tournaments, it was common for me to feel like the world was coming down on me because I had too many things happening at the same time. Sometimes, as an athlete, that's a lot of that is related to the way you're playing, to your results, to how you're feeling, how you're competing. And when you step off the court, you feel the same thing. You can feel the same way when you have a bunch of different things coming at you. You're probably overwhelmed because you're having problems at school. You're having problems at home. Probably having problems with a relationship. So there is always something that is gonna be on your way. There is always gonna be something that, as you grow older, more and more things are gonna become responsibilities, things that you have to grow up in order to keep your mind in the right place to solve them, and a lot of adversities all over the place. In tennis, there is a term that says, don't try to beat the whole tournament in one match. In tennis, instead of saying game, they call it match. He's playing a match. So what that means is that I remember going to the tournaments and seeing the draw that I was gonna, all the draw in the beginning of the tournament, and all the players that I had to beat in order to win that tournament. Probably have to beat this guy on second round. He's probably going to advance, and he will be my second round. And my third round, I'm probably gonna have to beat this guy. In the fourth round, I'm probably gonna have to beat this guy. So that became a very difficult thing, a very overwhelming thing when you see the whole draw and you say, I have to beat all these guys in order to win the tournament. And that's what early in my career, let's say, I decided that I didn't want to look at the draw. I just wanted to say, okay, who am I playing now? All right, I'm done with that match. Who am I playing next? Because knowing and looking at all the games on the draw, it was a little too overwhelming many times. That's what they mean with don't try to beat the whole tournament in one match. And that's what happens in life too. Don't try to beat life in one match. Don't try to beat life in one project, in one goal, in one decision. Many times we have to decide to do something, or we are already doing something, and what happens is that we are measuring life from that moment on, meaning your future, based on the result of that one single thing that we're doing, based on that one single goal that we have in mind. And what happens is that the truth is that when you play a tournament, there are a lot of things that happen that you cannot expect them to happen. You know, there are things that happen that they just change. Sometimes the guy that you thought that you were going to play on the second round, he lost. He actually lost to the other guy. And you would think, like, I never thought this guy was gonna lose that round. Well, and now you have a different opponent. So maybe sometimes you already had a plan in mind. If I have to play this guy, this is the way that I want to play him, and this is what I will do. And things are gonna change. A lot of things, there is gonna be a lot of variations in your plan in life. And one thing that you don't want to do is get to the point where you think, if I cannot succeed here, what is going to happen to me in the future? If I cannot transcend this goal, how can I expect to achieve the goals that I have for the future that are bigger and more difficult? One, you're not focused on the thing that you have right in front of you. You're not focused on one thing at a time. In tennis, you say go 1 point at a time. You want to try to focus on the next point only. And you want to try to do the same thing in life. You want to focus on the next, what is the immediate thing that I need to focus on? You focus on that, and as you learn to focus on one thing only, which is the next step, your attention starts moving towards that little goal that you have in mind, instead of focusing on the big goal at the end. One of the things that I had to learn was was to focus in my attention. Where is my attention going? What is the one thing that I really need to pay attention to? What is the next step that I need to take care of, that I need to do? It was difficult because I was used to have my focus on different things. And while my focus was moving from one spot to another, I was never really developing my potential at its fullest because I was moving more from a place of fear and being overwhelmed and being scared and being worried than being relaxed and say, okay, just move to the next step that you have to do. Do your best. And if it works, good. And if it doesn't work, well, learn from it, and then move on. So one of the things that you have to pay attention is don't try to look at your life and solve it through solving the situation that you're facing right now. Because there are going to be a lot of things that are going to change. Even if things go well and you believe that things look good, there are still going to be things that are going to happen that are going to throw you off in the future. Because the truth is that we cannot really plan with life. There is always going to be something that is going to throw us off. There is always going to be a surprise. There is always going to be something that is going to make you feel like, I was not expecting this. I am not prepared for this, or I'm not well prepared or prepared enough for the situation. That's why you have to pay attention. What is the immediate goal that I have in mind, and try to make it small. And whenever you fail, don't feel like you have no future, like you have no life because of that failure. Because the truth is that thing that happened to you is not representing your future. It's not representing the wide variety and the huge horizon that you have in front of you. It's one failure that is more there because you should learn from it. Is there for you to remember what happened, to analyze it and say, okay, what went wrong? What did I do well? What did I do wrong? When did I feel like the pressure was getting to me? What should I have done, or what could I have done? Don't try to solve your future in one failure. Don't try to solve your future in one game. Don't try to solve your future and predict it in one project, in one goal. Whether you achieve it or not, there is so much that is going to happen that we don't expect. Learn to get the best out of anything that happens, whether it's a good result or a bad result, and move on. You have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn to just work, be ready, because the truth is that a lot of the opportunities that we all are going to have to be successful in the future, they show up, but it's just as very, very small margins that we're going to have to achieve. But in small margins is when most of the successful things that happen to us happen in life. We rarely have something that happened and it was easy for us to achieve. Once we're done and we were successful, we can say, okay, there was a big chance that I was going to be successful here. No. Many times we had no hope when we were in the middle of the project or the game or the match, and then all of a sudden something little happened that changed the whole thing. Small margins are going to dictate a lot of the successes and the failures that we have in life. I hope it helps, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.